Honestly, guys, I'm going to have to apologize to you. What's up, everybody? My name is Ramen Cop, and I have been playing this game all wrong. See, I've been trying to play this game like all the other Minecraft YouTubers, and that's honestly not really been working for my playstyle. So, I'm going to change the goal a little bit. Our new goal is to become the top producing corporation with the highest output yields in Minecraft. To do that, we're going to need to boost a couple of things. First of all, to become the top producing corporation in Minecraft, we need a logo and a name. You can see that parrot head behind me because our logo and corporation name is going to be called Atlas Crafting Co. For anything that is any of your crafting and sourcing, material sourcing needs. I love it. Let's get started into the actual creating things. Now, I'm going to be using a bunch of random corporate jargon throughout this series, so every time I use a new word or something, a new buzzword, a corporate buzzword, I'm going to use the SpongeBob boo-womp sound, and I'll put the definition as soon as it arrives for the first time. So, in this case, I did an audit of my base and everything around it, and we're kind of looking at some severe lacking of automatic farming, at least for food wise. So that's going to be kind of our first focus, and each episode we're going to try to kind of automate or like mass produce one thing at a time or a couple things at a time. And so we're just going to start with food. To help you guys understand this, we're going to talk about focusing on a couple things. A couple metrics, as they call it. For this episode especially, we're going to be focusing on a couple things. So one of them is the PPD, which is the potatoes per day output. We're going to be talking about throughput, which is the amount of time it takes from the beginning of the product to the end, as in when we ship it out. The rail, which is a rolling action item list, and the root cause analysis, which of course is all actual terminology and tools used in modern corporations nowadays, and of course we will have to utilize it in our very own. So where are we at now? This is the beginning of our little farm area, and it's going to become a lot bigger as I improve it and whatnot, because we're kind of trying to focus on that PPG. So before we actually do any work, much like an actual corporation, we're going to have to sit through 57 meetings to actually decide what we're actually going to do. We're going to have to circle back on that one. Yeah, we'll have to circle back. Try to do everything. And how's our output yields looking like? Yeah, we'll have to add that to the act. I hate these meetings. Everybody does. But don't worry, we're only five meetings in. We're gonna need about 80 more before we can even place a single block. Now that we've gotten out of all those meetings, now we can go hire a builder to actually do all the building for us so that we don't actually have to do that. Right, we haven't actually made a profit yet, so I can't hire a builder. This isn't the most efficient way to farm, but as we expand, we'll just keep moving that way. Keep adding more tiers onto this. Basically, these pistons, or we're just going to have a bunch of pistons open up, send all the water down, and it's going to take all the plants with it. And there's going to go into a long line of hoppers, which are actually going to lead into our chest rooms so that we don't actually have to do any organizing or anything like that. That's the running plan. Hopefully that's actually how it ends up. We need some customers. And I think that is where you guys come in. You leave a like, if you go ahead and subscribe, leave a like and leave a comment on what order you guys want us to fulfill, what kind of crafting supplies, what kind of building supplies you need, and our corporation will fulfill your request in the next video. Hopefully we can garner enough orders so that I can keep myself busy and keep upgrading this base. Also, since the last video, I actually went ahead and kind of automated our sheep farm just because we build a lot with white and red, and that's kind of one of our main colors of our corporation, so I kind of needed a lot of that, so I went ahead and stuck them into this sheep harvesting machine. You also might notice that I actually left some of the sheep in the pen, and I'm not going to necessarily say I did that because I was lazy, but I'm also not saying that I didn't do it. I also am saying that I didn't do it because I'm lazy. That was confusing as hell. Also, some animals are more equal than others. If you thought I was going to make this entire series without teaching you a little thing or two, you would be entirely wrong. So what I've actually created here is just a very simple, example of what you would call a NOT gate in circuits, or I guess digital circuits, where basically when I flip the input, which is the lever over there, it's going to be sent into this very, very simple redstone contraption right here, which will send the input into the redstone torch, which the redstone torch stays on as it is, right? Turning, fully extending these pistons, so thus keeping the water in. And then when we send our input in, it actually is reading for the, it inverts the signal. So I put in a signal, and it actually inverts it, creating a, a not true, or basically turning the redstone off, which actually opens the pistons and puts the water into our automatic farming system. So actually, let's test my wiring skills here. Oh, perfect. Oh, beautiful. Look at that. Look at that. That is perfect. Okay, with a little bit of issues on the sides, we can kind of fix that as is. And of course, we flick it back and it fixes it. Okay. Okay, so looking at our original yield, that took us about, I'd say about 30 seconds to kind of harvest them all and collect them all, and then it took me about another minute or so to actually, replant everything. So basically we have about 86 carrots per minute in this system, which is great. However, now we have to kind of think about how long it actually takes to grow a carrot, which is about 3 Minecraft days. So in reality, okay, so actually now I just used 40 minutes as a safe metric. I could actually probably do the actual measurements here in a second, but looking at that actually gives us about 3.225 carrots per minute, which isn't terrible. It's not bad. I mean, we will definitely kind of expand, and I know that I told you guys that this is, we're trying to focus on the potatoes per minute. I did the metric potatoes per day, but a Minecraft day is about 10 minutes. So low-key, I'm probably just going to focus on per minute. I think that's really sick. So right about now, using this system, carrots per minute, 3.225. Given this situation. And of course, there is a little bit of variability to that, given that, certain carrots either give you 3 or 1 plant, or give you 3 or 1 carrot per harvest. So that's also worth noting. I'm going to go ahead and wire up the potato one as well, and then we can actually get our potato per minute measurement our potato per minute metric as well. So potatoes are now wired up with a collection system. So we're going to activate the lever, see if it actually works, see if it actually harvests the potatoes as well. It's probably going to harvest the carrots as well, but that's fine. That's fine for this first test, because I just need the metric of how many potatoes we're actually earning per minute, or creating per minute. So let's check it out. Oh, perfect. Look at that. Look at that. Splendid. It was like a full wave. So while we wait for those carrots and potatoes to actually, become collected in the hoppers, we actually have to talk about one of the other vocab words that I mentioned earlier, which is root cause analysis. So you might have noticed that some of the potatoes and carrots actually went up onto the side of the thing, which actually makes us lose quite a bit of carrots and potatoes per minute. So why are they ending up on the edges? Because the water harvests them, and it kind of shoots them up as soon as the water touches them. Okay, so we cannot change the way that the water actually works in the game. We can't change that. But what we can do is we can kind of change the design of our farm so that we can kind of focus on avoiding that kind of pitfall of our design. Perfect. Look at that. Surefire way to collect all of those without running into that issue. There is that little gap between the water that kind of keeps this tilled, the wall, but that, I think it should be fine. I don't think any of them, and if they do, they'll actually get pushed out by the water to the hopper instead anyway. So we should be okay with there. However, there is the slight off chance of creating a reject product, or a poisonous potato in this case, which is a very low percentage, but this is essentially scrap that's essentially a loss for us. It's scrap. We got to toss it out. So let's do the math on how many actually this is. We're going to use the 40-minute mark as our kind of thing because it usually takes about 40 minutes to grow. In most cases, grow the entire farm. Nice. Look at that. Okay, sweet. So now we've got an accurate reading on kind of how many carrots it takes per minute and how many potatoes it takes per minute while growing in this system, which is pretty good. I gotta say, guys, that's pretty good to start out as, and I mean, it didn't really take us too much time to implement this. So hold on, let me go harvest this again. Now, when I have actually, you know, we're gonna call it investor support, private investor support, meaning, you know, if you guys show these videos some love, I'll actually, you know, take the time to actually break down like how much time it takes to replant these things, and then we can actually factor into like labor cost and actually how much, you know, time is wasted and money and company resources is actually wasted replanting this thing as opposed to the actual profit. We used root cause analysis. Good job, guys. You now know the backbone of the American and actually probably across the world, the international corporate landscape. You know the backbone of it. And on the rolling action item list, we are gonna go ahead and build that now. I'm just kidding. We already did that. So the rolling action item list is pretty simple. It's in a corporation. It's basically it's a bunch of things that need to be done, like a to-do list, but it also has things like when it's due, when it was assigned, who is it assigned to, and stuff like that. But unfortunately for me, most of these tasks on this world are actually assigned to me, so I don't have to put nearly as much work into that sort of thing. I'm actually convinced that in most corporate landscapes, you can kind of just say whatever you want as long as it's like kind of said in the right tone. People will kind of pick up what you're understanding in any sort of meeting. You can be in like something like a multi-million-dollar company, and you can be like, you know, let's just say, you know, I'm not trying to pull your Josh, but you kind of need to kind of pick up the production a little bit. And then you're just sitting there like, who's Josh, and why are you pulling him? Come on, dude, what are we talking about right now? Oh yes, 177 fantastic people. This is actually our subscriber count, and that actually tells you how long it has been since I made a Minecraft video, because now we are sitting at a nice, lovely 196 private investors. Also, this is my wall of people who comment something funny, which also could be, this also could be you if you wanted to put your kind of order down and stuff like that for the new corporation. So if you actually are satisfied, very satisfied customer, you know, you might end up on this wall as well. See, we don't actually, one metric I'm actually not going to bother measuring is this one, this is going to be eggs per minute, because right now, I don't know, maybe I will, but right now I kind of don't have a use for eggs at the current moment, and I made this like as soon as I started the world, and so I've had like a constant stream of eggs that I haven't been able to use constantly. So I don't know, maybe if I like start a war with somebody, I'll just use eggs as the main weapon. Oh god, so much protein. Guys, are we gonna become the most enormous mega corporation in the Minecraft landscape with the highest yields anyone could imagine? Stay tuned to find out. I'm Ramen Cup, guys, and I will see you in the next video. Deuces!